Somewhere in Hampshire, the Committee for Hamwic Speakers are attending a debrief after their spectacular 10th anniversary meeting.
Thanks everybody for coming and to this nice new venue of ours. We're here to have a meeting about the success of our 10th anniversary celebrations.
As part of the celebrations, a great idea was created to show how Toastmasters changes people's lives.
One of the innovative ideas we had was to take two people off the street who are absolutely terrified of public speaking.
The challenge was to find two random people who have major fears with public speaking and to coach them to perform a speech before a large audience within only 3 weeks.
My mum signed me up through Facebook.
And I'd heard of Hamwic speakers, sort of thought, well, okay, here I am, and sort of volunteered myself.
Yeah, we had two amazing volunteers. We had Vivian and Kitty, and the good thing was they were totally different ages. One was 16 and the other was 61.
We really wanted to just give these people a real chance to overcome that real inner fear that they have of public speaking.
The first day of coaching was based around therapy, looking into any underlying issues and giving tips on how to manage anxiety.
Techniques that we've used today are mindfulness and CBT, a type of talking therapy where the person is sort of challenging thoughts, their feelings and their behaviours in order to see them for what they really are.
I feel very anxious right at the minute, quite on edge.
Challenging these negative behaviours and words and feelings can help you to see that that's all that they are. We can fool our body into being more confident. If you walk into a room bent forwards, arms crossed, it's possibly how you'll feel and it's how other people will feel towards you. So would you like to share any of these things to a point? Is there anything you'd like to talk about a little bit?
Since the club is so very careful at handling people softly and the fact that we were going to push these two people much quicker into the public speaking, it was really important that the first coach that they saw was a therapist.
But the biggie for me is Mum dying 3 years ago, and I sat beside her hospital bed, just basically sat holding her hand for the last 2 weeks of her life. And
it's not one big event, it's lots of small things that happen regularly, but I always get really scared when they happen because I feel very alone.
Yeah.
Because when they happen, everything goes blurry and dark.
That's really quite powerful, thank you. Are you alright?
Yeah. We did a counselling kind of thing. This lady told us how we can look back on the things that have happened and compare it to public speaking and how it's so insignificant compared to everything else.
We had a really nice therapist called Adriana Morris with very basic things and introduced them to what stress and being nervous was all about.
Of course, with something like public speaking, there isn't a bear at the door. You will feel that fear, but there's no actual danger.
During each coaching session, the volunteers rehearse a short poem to perform at the next local Toastmasters meeting.
I'm very ugly, so don't try to convince me that I am a very beautiful person.
One of the fundamental things of doing great speeches is getting exposed to different environments. And one of the opportunities that our speakers have were doing Hamwic speakers in Southampton. I think they ended up doing Salisbury.
Because no matter what, I am not good enough to be loved. And I'm in no position to believe that beauty does exist within me.
The idea of having that stage time to explore those areas makes such a difference to their confidence.
And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying I hate myself in every single way, because at the end of the day, I am a very beautiful person.
I was really nervous I was going to mess up my words.
That actually was easier than I thought, because just looking around the room, it was just friendly, smiley faces that were looking back at us.
When I raised this idea with the committee, some of the committee did have concerns.
I think that was the concern, Ken, because at the start we didn't really know exactly how much we're going to put them through.
If people really are very, very frightened of public speaking, then even over that short period of time, it's possible to really traumatise them even more unless we're very careful.
I think stage fright can stay with you forever. I think it's what a lot of our members have already experienced previously.
There's always risks and questions to ask along the way, but then if you don't take some risks in life, then you can lose out on a lot of potential.
The next coaching involved learning to become an external character through acting.
It was a bit scary at first, given the timescales, but then we've got such an intense programme of training over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Hello, my pretties! So it's right up there, but actually if you wanted to stop anyone talking, that's the voice you use, because it's loud and it cuts through any noise.
The second of our special coaches was Jacqueline Goddard, and she was an acting coach, and acting perhaps doesn't sound as if it should be in public speaking, but training people with some of the techniques that an actor would use, like warming up your voice, for example.
But what we'll do today is we'll do a bit of a warm-up. We'll do some vocal and breathing techniques. The diaphragm is a muscle. The muscles that operate your rib cage are muscles. Your vocal cords are basically muscles. And the more you use them, the better they get. And relax. Good. And start shaking out your arms. So this really is a warm-up from the top of your head right the way down to your toes.
Giving yourself a character, so when you stand up there, you're not yourself, you're somebody else, and you can do all sorts of things when you're somebody else.
Your Majesty, the King's dead!
You feel being someone else rather than playing someone else is quite a good way of building your own confidence in what you have to say. So basically you've got a pupil and a tutor and a teacher, and it's just the backwards and forwards between them. And I'm going to make you the child and you the teacher.
Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy Derek Drew, he keeps copying my work, miss. What shall I do?
Go and sit in the hall, dear. Go and sit in the sink.
Take your books on the roof, my lamb.
Do whatever you think.
They just need that extra bit of confidence and to almost be given the permission to stand up and speak because somebody believes in them. So if I can give them that confidence and I can give them the tools to put across what they're saying in a confident way.
Take the moments to act out. Overdo it. It's just me here. We don't mind if it feels a bit eggy, I'll tell you, all right? So
It's really great to have Jane Prowse on board for this project, and a BAFTA award-winning film and TV director.
Please, Mrs. Butler! If that happens on the night, we'll just start from the top again, yeah?
To actually give them coaching on being directed, very different from what we've experienced in Toastmasters ourselves.
find it in the present and learn it so you're really familiar with it, and then you can play around with it, you can play off each other. You're so lucky you're going to have each other on stage together.
But perhaps we could introduce something more into our mentorship programme from a director's perspective.
I was once nominated for a Children's BAFTA Award for a drama that I directed, and I sat in the audience really hoping I didn't win because I was so terrified of the idea of going up on stage and having to say something.
Oh crap, and you can see they start going into this negative, oh no, I'm screwing up and I know I can...
Our fourth expert coach was Simon Bucknell. Simon is a real celebrity figure in the world of Toastmasters.
Has there been any discussion about nervousness?
I'm terrified of speaking in front of large crowds. Making myself stand at the front of a room with people looking at me these last few weeks has helped.
I feel more confident now, I think, than I did. I think having met other people in Toastmasters who've all said, I really hate doing speeches, and everybody's in the same boat.
But actually the word nervousness is really quite unhelpful, and if you think about it, those various symptoms, face going red, shaky knee, mind going blank, it's just symptoms of adrenaline. And it's not to devalue it, it's not to try and, con yourself, it's just acknowledging it for what it is. It's symptoms of adrenaline, and you're allowed to experience that. We'll just go for our first speaker, please welcome. What counts for more than anything else with effective speaking is clear, simple structure. Structure is the key.
And then a few weeks ago I met a young man and we spent quite some time talking about his life.
It is a skill, and you get better at it just by working at it. Let's just talk about the structure of it. So when you think about the structure of the speech, what are the different sections of it in your mind?
He really showed them how to deliver a speech without notes.
Part of my fear is if I don't have the script, I will end up just waffling
Step back from worrying about getting it word for word perfect. In the end, what's the structure? What's the basic journey? Or what are the steps that I'm going to take the audience through? Because if that flow is clear, good stuff will come.
So would your advice then be to actually write a script, but then look at it again and just take out the bullet points, the salient points?
Public speaking is not about the speaker. It's about the audience. If you see it as you are looking at the audience and seeking to connect with them, rather than you're in a spotlight with everybody looking at you, you'll find it's very, very empowering. I am in awe of any individual who is willing to put themselves up in front of an audience and to speak. Both Kitty and Viv are to come from a position of having not done that much speaking, if any. I think that is a sign of real courage.
The final night has arrived, and Kitty and Vivian must each perform a 2-minute speech in front of an eager audience.
The night of the birthday celebration, the meeting was absolutely wonderful. The room was packed with people. There was a real buzz about the meeting.
So now with our hearts beating, and I completely understand because my heart would be beating, can I welcome Kitty to give a 2-minute passionate speech?
I felt really anxious, but then if it all goes horribly, then I'll never see these people again. I mean, everyone goes through things in their lives that change them as a person, and I've gone through a fair amount.
Even the First Lady, who claimed to be very self-conscious, gave the overall impression of being confident and assured.
I think a lot of that comes with age and with just being 16.
So there's no point being a public speaker if you don't have anything to say. It's about the world you're in. It's about the story that you're trying to tell the audience.
And Vivian, now if you could come up to the stage and give your 2 minutes.
When it actually came to walking up there, I was so worried about missing something out.
Make sure it is something that you really want to talk about. Otherwise you're not going to enjoy it.
And you know, it was like somebody had flicked a switch in my head, and I started thinking, yeah, what are my plans?
I thought they got up there and they were very brave. They'd obviously got a great deal of thought about the content of what they were going to say, and most importantly of all, they commanded the attention of the audience.
And I don't really know how it went.
You don't know how it went. I mean,
I don't.
Tell me about what the result was.
And Viv, actually, she beat the mayor, and she won the award for the passionate pitch speech, which was very, very impressive.
It's like we're all people with stories to tell. To communicate something of importance to an audience, that's huge.
We've had 10 years of massive success. The club has helped hundreds and hundreds of people, and let's hope that in the following 10 years we can be even more successful. So well done, and onwards and upwards.